In the last video, I introduced you to Maven and the advantages of it. Now I'm gonna right away explain you what is Spring Boot and what are the benefits of using Spring Boot with Maven. To make the things perfectly clear, this is because we have Maven that we can, on a convenient way, use Spring Boot with the pom.xml. So, what are the benefits of using Spring Boot? Spring Boot is the build on top of the Spring framework and is designed to make building Java applications faster, simpler, and production ready. Here are its main benefits: rapid development, minimal configuration required, no complex XML setup, auto configuration based on your dependencies. You can create a working REST API in minutes. Embedded servers. Spring Boot includes embedded servers like Apache Tomcat, Chetai, Undertow. This means no need to deploy a WAR file to an external server. You just run a jar file. Starter dependencies. It provides starter dependencies like Spring Boot Starter Web, Spring Boot Starter Data JPA, Spring Boot Starter Security. These starters are bundle common dependencies together, ensure compatible versions, reduce manual configuration. One of the tremendous features of Spring Boot is the auto configuration. Spring Boot automatically configures database connections, web server settings, JSON converters, security defaults. It also brings to the table production-ready features such as health checks, metrics, monitoring endpoints, application info. So this is almost one of the mainstream in Java ecosystem for microservices also. Spring Boot works very well with REST APIs, cloud platforms, containerization like Docker, Kubernetes. It is widely used for microservice architecture. And at the very least, it's a very strong ecosystem and community built on the major Spring ecosystem, large community support, extensive documentation. So let's jump right away in what is Spring Boot and how we can recognize we are on a Spring Boot project. First, in Spring Boot, the parent tag in a Maven pom.xml is used to inherit centralized configuration here. When you declare the Spring Boot parent in your Maven project, you automatically get a ready-to-use setup. Typically, you define it like this. The main role of the parent tag is automatic version management. Indeed, the Spring Boot start parent here defines compatible versions for Spring modules, Jackson, Hibernate, Tomcat, and many others. You usually don't need to specify versions for most Spring Boot dependencies, which is very convenient. So when I am on a Spring Boot context, I have also an annotation that will be written here on the top of my class that holds the main method, and it will be called Spring Boot application. All right. And as you can see, also I will have in my main method an expression written here, Spring application.run, and the parameter in the argument in this method is the class we are in. I know this is weird, but it is what it is. So to summarize, all you have to understand is as soon as you are on a Spring Boot context, your class that all the main method will have to have this annotation and this expression here. But as we will see in the next lectures, we will use a tool, a tremendous tool, which is called Spring Initializer. And you will not have to do this, of course. It will be done for you automatically. Anyway, so for now we know that we have to have the parent tag, the Spring Boot application annotation in the class that holds my main method, and we will jump right away to the very important tags that brings Spring Boot to the table. And we will jump to another context, the starters. So as we said already, Maven is a tremendous tool that brings less configuration, more coding. Spring Boot does the same thing. It adds even more productivity. I'm more productive, I'm more efficient, I'm not wasting my time configuring some stuff. With the dependency tag, I'll be able to write here in the pom.xml some Spring Boot dependencies. And one of the most important people are using these days is the starter web. This one brings everything you need to create a web app, a REST API, for instance. All right, and it brings another concept to the table. What is a starter? So a starter is a dependency that owns its own pom.xml. To see this, I can hit my control button on my keyboard and do a left click with my mouse. And as you can see, I'm jumping to another pom.xml. By the way, this pom holds also other starters. I know, this is weird. One of the main feature we are looking for here is the web server, which is Tomcat. In this case, Spring Boot provides Tomcat web server. And by the way, Tomcat owns its own pom.xml also. I can jump to another starter, as you can see. So, to summarize, a starter is a dependency that brings to the table another pom.xml with other dependencies. So as you can tell now, Spring Boot is bringing a lot of jars. I mean, when we were on a, if we are on a Maven project, the amount of libraries will be big already, but with Spring Boot, it's even bigger. So I hope this is clear. All you have to bear in mind now is Spring Boot is a tool that brings to the table more productivity. They know all the tools you need: coding a website, coding a REST API, connecting to a database. We will use encryption jar to make our password be encrypted and decrypted, and so on. I will catch you in the next lecture.